What's going on, Pats Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Cans Pats Talk Patriots podcast. I'm joined by a special guest tonight, my brother Rob from House Call Sports podcast. Man, he's also a Patriots fan. He does content as well on Instagram. Man, what's going on with you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a slow season right now, but like obviously we have something to talk about. Rhamondre Stevenson just signed a brand new contract. I'm really happy to have him back, even though you know my opinion on paying running backs.
Me of all people, I do know that, man. Fun that you brought it up because that's exactly where I want to start at, man. Oh, if y'all just checking me out, make sure you hit the like button if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitter, IG, where you on Facebook, wherever you at. We on all platforms, Twitch. I got everything connected. Make sure you share the content, and especially on YouTube, give me the thumbs up. The more thumbs up I get, the more eyeballs, man. I really appreciate it, and subscribe, man. Appreciate it. And Rob, appreciate you having your crew joining as well. Okay, we got a bunch of comments. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Okay, Ramon, what's your initial thoughts on the Rhamondre Stevenson contract?
So I'm not normally very big on when it comes to paying running backs. However, when you look at the contract, it really does seem pretty reasonable for a guy that, if he's at his best potential, is a top 10 running back. I don't want to hear any ifs, ands, or buts about it. At one point in time, when he's healthy, no wear on the tear on the tires, he can get like 1,400 yards that one season. But as we've seen, when there's no secondary option behind him, basically relinquishing some of those snaps, he starts to tail off. It's just like kind of like how Judon on the opposite side of the ball. If you don't give him help, he's going to start to tail off towards the end of the season, which obviously, I mean, the running back position, man, like you're right. It's like collision, collision, collision. But in terms of his contract, I mean, if you go look at it, it's 4 years, around like $17 million, right? That's really not that bad. Like if you really think about it, when you got a guy that has a potential that when healthy, and if he could stay like fresh, can give you 1,000 yards. So and especially with the leadership, it's a second to none, man.
My initial thoughts on the contract is okay. The past couple years, Monty said he's been banged. He's been banged. It really hasn't been. I wouldn't call him injury prone, but my initial thoughts on it is if we get that Rhamondre Stevenson from the 2022 season, I'm all in. And we have to wait until the full details of the contract come out. You know, a lot of times these full details don't come out like 2 or 3 days after. So it might be a 2 year extension when you probably can get out of it from after 2 years. So I want to see the full details. Mike Reeves, he's normally good at dropping that a couple of days after after it's officially signed. Um, but I think Rhamondre Stevenson, I think he's a very underrated running back. I think he's a top 12 running back. Now the contract, I think right now his contract, I think it's the seventh. It's the seventh best running back contract, something like that. I read. So we just have to wait and see, man. But listen, they had to pay him right now because this offense this year is going to run through Rhamondre Stevenson. With all the moves they made this offseason, bringing in Gibson, trying to show up the offensive line, the new scheme, the West Coast scheme with Alex Pell, TC McCart, those guys. It's gonna run. It's gonna be run, and play action. It's the West Coast scheme. If you know about that, picture the old Mike McCarthy days with Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. They did a lot of play action, a lot of PA, a lot of pass from rollouts. It's gonna be sort of that. I like the contract from Rhamondre Stevenson as it looks right now, but like I said, let's just wait and see how the full details is. If he can stay healthy, I think we got a good contract. If he can stay healthy, past couple years, like last year, he was okay, but we did have Zeke. We had Zeke coming in at spelling him a little bit. The year before that, or what? Rogers had a pretty good year, 2022 season, and that was a bad offense. It was a mad disaster, and Rhamondre Stevenson still looked good. So let's see how things goes with this contract and whatnot. Like I said, and the key words, if he can stay healthy, I think just wait and see to the full details come out. If he can stay healthy, I think it's a good deal for the Rhamondre Stevenson. I think it's a good deal for the Patriots. Also, before I hand it over to you, Rob, I like the Antonio Gibson signing because I think he fits that James White role. We've been looking at for a while, and if you look at that, he does have a fumbling issue. But if you look at it, we haven't really had that back since we had like Rex Burkhead. And we tried it with Deion Lewis. Okay with Deion Lewis back in the day. We haven't really had that since we had James White, Rex Burkhead. So that's good. I think that I think that's a very under the radar signing to Antonio Gibson. Man, how do you feel about that?
I feel like we've been missing that for quite a bit of time. Like we need that guy that's going to be the receiving back. Rhamondre Stevenson really has been doing everything for us at this point. He has been your do-it-all back, and that's the reason why he started to tail off. I never really kind of wrapped my mind around the fact that we didn't like let Kevin Harris get snaps or Pierre Strong when we had him. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I mean, at the end of this contract, if you really look at it, he's got to average around like 50 yards per game, and he'll be the all-time leading rusher for the Patriots in Patriots history. Which is crazy that I think it's like 5,300 yards is the all-time number right now. He's gonna break that record by the end of the season. He'll probably be in the top 5. It's incredible. When it comes to Rhamondre Stevenson, the reason why he started to fall off, you don't give the guy any breaks. He was basically the whole offense. Here's my biggest thing, and this is what I was going to allude to. When you look at Rhamondre and you look at this offense, he's gonna play. He's probably. If you told me he would have a contract year, not contract year, if he'd have a great year this year or a career year this year, I wouldn't be surprised because yes, you're gonna have an offense that's going to be predicated off run the ball, establish the run, and then open it up the play action through the run. You can't load the box with this team, especially if Drake May gets out there and we have guys that can push the ball down the field and Javon Baker and Jalen Polk. People really should look into the numbers. These guys can stretch the field more than people think. And when you stretch the field, that means you can't load the box. That means you can't play so close to the line of scrimmage, which means you can run play action. The anticipation for the run is a lot harder to anticipate that there's going to be a run. So it opens a lot more holes up for Rhamondre Stevenson to run downhill and really give it to the defense.
I agree, man. I agree with you there. But like I said, key word is if he can stay healthy. I'm telling you, I want to go back. I'm going to come right back to your comment, Gorilla 44. I think, where's this comment? Neil, I think it was Neil. Here we go. Neil Ray, when he's healthy, ain't no one can start him, but he needs good guys behind him or else it's too much of a load. I like the way I said now. I like the Gibson signing. Keep an eye on this name. You heard it here first. Keep an eye on this undrafted running back for the Patriots. Don't tell me.
Fenwick, Oregon State.
Fenwick. Yes. Deshaun Fenwick, right? Keep an eye on him. I like what I seen. I watched some highlights on the watch some film on to keep an eye on him. You heard it here first.
There's a chance Kevin Harris don't even make the roster, man, because
I like Kevin Harris, but I just don't think he's shown enough.
He doesn't have enough flash, and that's why I've been kind of getting into a lot of verbal spats with some of my followers when they talk about, Tyquan Thornton. For some odd reason, there's a following group that thinks he's going to be anything special. When up until this point, he hasn't shown anything. My biggest thing is with Kevin Harris is I'm not one to doubt Belichick ever when it comes to assessing running backs. So if he was letting Rhamondre Stevenson
parts here, he showed a little bit. Just has to say, but I don't think he's had a lot of opportunities either.
Yeah, but he's also shown that in the past, at least, when you get in Bill Belichick's doghouse, it's kind of hard to get out of there. But in terms of in the beginning, he was fumbling the ball a lot. And he had an issue, and I didn't really see him get too many fumbles once they really started to give him touches. But man, I would like for us to give a shot for Kevin Harris and give him some more snaps, because honestly, at the end of the day, the best way to get the best ability out of Stevenson and really have him show his what he's capable of is let him be fresh, because we already see what happens. He makes uncharacteristic fumbles and he starts to get banged up. I mean, and let's be honest with ourselves. He's been 70-80% of our offense, and he was really our only star on offense for the longest time.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think Harris is more of a short yardage back. I don't think we've used him right. You look at him in South Carolina where he was at. I think he's more of a short yardage back. But I think it was the Chiefs game last year. He's shown some signs, man. He's shown some sparks here and there. And I think he can be like a good preseason back. See what he do in the preseason, and maybe we can maybe something happened there. We don't forget we got Jermichael Hasty. I like him. We see what we can do with Jermichael Hasty or whatnot.
He's actually my third running back right now, Jermichael Hasty. I think especially with how his ability to catch out of the backfield. I
want to watch Deshaun Fenwick. I want to watch him in preseason. Cause we ain't gonna get a lot of tail on these guys in training camp. We just ain't gonna really get a lot of tail about the preseason. So it's gonna be very interesting to see, man. Right here, Gorilla A44. I'm glad you brought it up because I was actually going to talk about that. What will we give up for our youth? A first Juju and a third. Okay,
so here's my biggest thing. People need to stop putting Juju in this trade package like he's worth anything. Guys, they do this in my comment section all the time. He is not worth anything. If anything, that's taking on a contract that you don't want to take on. So why would you want to take on a guy that literally I mean, Debo
I think that's
Samuel.
too much for Ayuk anyway, man. I think that's too much anyway for
You don't
Ayuk.
give up a first. Is he said a first? You don't give up
A
no.
first, Juju, and a third.
That's insane, especially since our first pick in a season where, by the way, guys, I believe the percentage is 22%. We have a 22% chance of getting. We're 22. The Panthers are 21%, but we have a 22% chance to get the first overall pick. So you're going to give away the first overall pick for Brandon Ayuk? Absolutely not.
My thing is, I do like IU. And saying all that, I want to see more. But my thing is, let's see what these young guys can do first. I want because if you bring in Brendan Ayuk, everybody else gonna. Okay, he's your number one right away. Day one, he's number one. You got Ayuk, Pop Douglas in the slot, Pope probably three. Assuming KB starts the season, that starts the year on PUP. I know Mayo did say that he'd be ready for training camp, but we'll see. So everybody's gonna slot down one. So then you bring in KJ Osborne. I know KJ Osborne not a Brent Ayuk, but I'm just saying, if you bring in that guy, everybody else slot that. What I would do is see what you got these young guys this year. We're not winning the Super Bowl this year. We're not winning AFC Championship game this year. See what you got in these young guys, and then after the year, you can say, hey, do we have a number one? Is Javon Baker number one receiver? If you don't have a number one on the roster after this season, then next year's the year you go make that big splash move. Not this year. I think I put the young guys. Staying on the wide receiver topic, my 5 wide receivers to make the team, I think, assuming KB is healthy and he starts the season, you got Kendrick Bourne, Pop Douglas, Jalen Pope, Javon Baker, KJ Osborne, and I'm giving the 6th spot to Jalen Reagor. Now, if Kendrick Bourne starts a year on PUP, I'm going Pop, Pope, Baker, Osborne, Reagor, and Kayshon Boutte. That's what I would do. That's what because Kayshon Boutte really came on these last few minicamp passes. If he can show that in the preseason and in training camp, I don't think Taquan Thornton makes the team. He's too hit and miss. I think Juju's gone. It's just a matter of time. And we got the cash, but I think we're gonna end up eating that contract unless Juju Smith-Schuster comes out and training camp. He looks like Randy Moss from 07. I don't think there's no way Juju Smith-Schuster make the team because he's a big slot receiver. We already got that. That's basically Jalen Polk is the Juju Smith-Schuster replacement, and Javon Baker is the Devontae Parker replacement. That's basically what it is. Pop Douglas is your slot. He's going to stay in the slot, and then so KJ Osborne can be like a Taquan Thornton replacement, really. So we already got replacements on the roster, and I think KJ Osborne. I think that's another very underrated signing. He's not a 1. He's not a 2. He's probably not even a 3. But I think he can fill out your depth chart. And who knows, man, just play the young guys. See what you got in Kayshon Boutte. I like what I seen a little bit in the limited opportunities got last year and everything. And what we know about this new regime, guess what? They're going to play the young guys. So we're going to know early how the young guys perform. I'm fine with a depth chart of Pope, Baker, Pop, Boutte, KJ Osborne, because I don't think Kendrick Bourne's gonna be ready. I know Mayo said he is, but I don't think, I hope he's not ready because I want to see the young guy. I know what Kendrick Bourne is. He's a 2 or 3 maybe at best. I think he's a little overrated. I do think Kendrick was a little overrated, but we know what KB is. Let the young guys, we're not, like I said, we're not winning no Super Bowl this year. Let the young guys play, and then Jaheim Bell, the tight end. I listened to Scott Zolak and them on 98.5 the other day. They said the Patriots really love Jaheim Bell. So if we hit with this pick with Jaheim Bell, the 2 rookie wide receivers, I think Drake May's a hit. I don't want to jump. Just saying, I think we hit with that. If so, the future looks really bright. And then next year, assuming like you just said, we might have a top 5 pick again. Maybe you go get a Luther Bird, or you probably go get a left tackle, and then you make that trade for a big time wide receiver. Because have you seen the wide receiver market next year in free agency, or some people that's going to be in contract years? We can make if Drake May's that guy, receivers are going to want to come to New England to play with him, and then next year in year 2, we can make that big splash for a wide receiver. I wouldn't do it this year. I do that in the 2025 season.
So my biggest thing is Brandon Ayuk. He's going somewhere this offseason. I can't the 49ers, first of all, they don't have the money, and he's not gonna play.
And they drafted 2 wide receivers too.
Exactly, Ricky Pearsall and I think
I like Cowing.
Okay, Cowing's actually a freaking beast. But in terms of Brandon Ayuk, the trade will have to happen now. It would have to happen now, and I think that I wouldn't mind trading our second. I won't give up anything more than literally our second straight up. because you're not only going to have to trade for him, you're going to have to eat whatever he wants, which, by the way, we can very easily. But when it comes to like our starting wide receivers, like I seen someone, where's the list? Someone just named. Obviously, like I think Polk is going to be our one. Like there's no ifs, ands. I think our two is going to be actually Javon Baker. I think he's going to be our two. I think our three is going to be Demario Douglas. Our four is going to be KJ Osborne, because I think KJ Osborne, what we're going to get at KJ Osborne is what we expected to get out of Juju. You get a guy that can catch the ball, that's reliable, and he's going to get a lot of yards after the catch. KJ Osborne's he's a little bit of a thumper. The guy doesn't go down so easily. So what we expected out of Juju Smith-Schuster when we signed him, we will get that out of KJ Osborne. And actually, our fifth one, I believe, is going to be Kayshon Boutte, who's been performing. Mm-hmm. And I had someone in my comment section like, "Oh, I rather had Tyquan Thornton over Kayshon Boutte." That is absolutely.
What has Tyquan Thornton? He has two good practices, and then he's just running the wrong route. He gets hurt. Now hold on. Now I don't know. This could be it. It might be an injury. It might be something personal related. So we can't be so quick to judge. We never know what can happen. Now, but we'll know when training camp get here though. Maybe it was injury related. Maybe it was just something personal. We don't know. It's just the fact that you're not on the field. So let's just hold off on Thornton. I like Tyquan Thornton, but I think more upside. I would give it to Kayshon Boutte. I think Boutte. I
think it's second to none. I think Kayshon Boutte definitely has to be the guy. I think the reason why I haven't listed Kendrick Bourne is because he's coming off an ACL injury. Let the guy just rest. Let him come back around week 8.
I wouldn't rush him. Yeah, I wouldn't rush him.
Put him on the PUP. Like, I'm very serious. I want to see what these kids are capable of. And
Kendrick Bourne. He got hurt it was November, right, against Miami.
I can't remember. It wasn't that far into the season. All I know is that like,
and you're not gonna be back 100% until like that second year back.
I also was completely against bringing him back, by the way, because he's gonna be on the kind of like the twilight side of his career, and he's coming off an ACL injury from a guy that like when he was at his best. Is a 2 or 3. And my biggest thing is now he's coming off an ACL injury. I like Kendrick Bourne. I love his personality. Here's my biggest thing. When you surround average receivers around crap, they're going to look good. Demario Douglas, everybody's really high on him too. I like me some Demario Douglas. He hasn't shown the ability to say he's healthy either. The guy he's 5'8" and he gets hurt. He can't take hits, and he has a little bit of fumbling issue. I think he's probably going to perform really well this year, but like I really have high hopes with Jalen Polk and Javon Baker. My biggest thing is it really is all predicated on who's the starting quarterback, because I have a lot of faith in Drake May starting. Jacoby Brissett is not a winner, and I think he'll carry you at least a little bit, but he's not going to really win you games.
My comp for Jalen Polk is Robert Woods. That's my comp for him.
That's not a bad comp to have. That's not a bad comp at all.
Thornton and Juju probably. I think Juju gone. Thornton, I think they might keep him because of that cheap contract. They might keep Thornton, but I think Juju's gone, man.
They were, if I'm not mistaken, they had Thornton fielding punts and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have him on the kickoff team. But Jalen Reagor's obviously also making the roster because he'll be either kickoff or punt return.
And he made some plays at minicamp too. He was catching some passes or whatnot.
Yeah, he also has pretty solid hands.
Yeah, his real production is really going to come from special teams. I think he ran a couple back last year, had a couple nice plays. I like Jalen Reagor as your 6th receiver. I think you could do a whole lot worse there. KJ Osborne, I think he's your Tyquan Thornton replacement. You say he's kind of like Juju. I think he's the Tyquan Thornton replacement. And then, like I said, I would not make that big trade this offseason. I'm not doing it right now. I'm not, especially. I would just wait. I'll wait till next year, see what you got, and then see. Who are you
waiting on then? Because CeeDee Lamb is going to get re-signed. So here's the biggest thing that's coming out of Dallas right now. They're in a predicament. They have 3 guys that are going to have to get paid an abundance of money, and they only have around like $60 million in cap space. So they got to allocate it to 2 players. So the 3 players that are coming up, they got Dak, they got CeeDee Lamb, and they got Micah Parsons. So they're going to have to make a critical decision. So someone's going to hit the market that's not supposed to hit the market. So if I got to put my damn money on it, it's going to probably be Dak. So CeeDee Lamb's not available.
T. Higgins
is going to be but they're still going to tag him. You're not going to get him for free. Like, I just don't see
Do
how
you
you
think
get.
he's a number one?
I think he can be. I want to see a little bit more consistency. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather go after Brandon Ayuk right now. Like, I'm serious. Like, I think that Drake May, from what I've seen in practice, I know it's in shorts and t-shirt, and it's not really a lot you could put stock into it. But the same thing is being about, like, when it comes to Jacoby. Everybody else is in shorts and t-shirt. Jacoby Brissett is completing the football at a 59% completion rate, and Drake May is doing a 73% completion percent. Now, I would like to know how those interceptions happened, whether it was tip balls, whatever, because Drake May has quite a few.
I know. I mean, I'd rather you throw them interceptions in practice than in the game. Interceptions are going to happen. I mean, I'm fine with it. As long as he's not out there looking like Jameis Winston throwing 32 touchdowns, 32 interceptions, I'm fine. Interceptions are going to happen. That's part of the game. I mean, Patrick Mahomes throws interceptions. I mean, you remember Patrick Mahomes' first couple of years, he threw a lot of interceptions. Josh Allen first couple of years, well, he's still a turnover machine. But still, though, I'm fine with Drake May throwing. I'd rather those interceptions happen right now. I would rather that happen right now. Go ahead and get that out the way. I know a couple was, I think one was he airmailed the ball, but I'd rather you throw it, overthrow somebody, throw a pick, than underthrow it. Then, I mean, my quarterback has on. He can make every throw. I'm fine with that. It's just like, now, what I've seen on film prior to the Patriots drafting him, he does at times like airmail a lot of throws. His footwork's a mess, which his footwork has gotten better, but he does airmail some throws or whatnot. He just makes some throws where you're like, damn, what the hell was he throwing the ball to? You know what I mean? But I'm fine with that, man. I think with Drake, you have to take the good with the bad. I think you just gonna have to live with some stuff.
Here's my biggest thing, and this is where I'm kind of like, it's not so much that don't look. I think Drake May should start week 1. However, that left tackle position is really an eyesore. Here's my rebuttal though. You go bring in Brandon Ayuk, you cannot load the box at all, because Brandon Ayuk's ability to shake defenders and get open, which I had someone literally come in my comment section, told me, "Oh no, I don't want him. We want a big body guy, or he's not a wide receiver 1." Are you kidding me?
He's big. He's not a big. He's not T. Higgins big, but he's a X.
He's an X. He's a wide receiver 1. He's a top 10 wide receiver. What does it matter how big the person is if, like, I can't wrap my mind around it.
Oh my God, what was I about to say? Oh, could you imagine how much better Pop Douglas would be if we did get a legit number 1? Because last year he put up about between 500 and 700 yards, and he missed like 3 or 4 games. And then I went back and watched some film. He was open a whole lot, and Mac or Zach, they just couldn't give him the ball. Like, I think Pop can be a consistent 700-800 yard receiver if he had a number 1 opposite him.
You also got to take in consideration though, he was surrounded by nobody. Like,
and still put up good numbers.
No, I mean, if you have all those receivers out there, like Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, KJ Osborne, and Brandon Ayuk, he will not get 700 yards. I will put my money on it. He will not. I think you'll easily get Brandon Ayuk get 1,000 yards. Everything else out is going to be just kind of balanced out. I think Javon Baker is going to be a touchdown machine. And you got to take in consideration, Hunter Henry is a red zone threat.
So who's your depth chart? How's your depth chart looking up?
In terms of what? Like the wide receivers?
From X to Z.
So I have Polk as our 1. I have Polk as our 1. I have Javon Baker as our 2. I have 3 Demario Douglas. 4 is going to be KJ Osborne. 5 is Keyshawn Butte. And
so in terms of, I know, okay, I get your ranking. That's in terms of alignment, but in terms of targets, like Pop would be probably the 1, right? In terms
that's
of targets.
Kind of how that's kind of how that's kind of how the targets are going as well, because I just think that Jalen Polk he's shown so much in training camp, and I just think he's gonna, like, he has such a reliable target. Mm-hmm. Honestly, Hunter Henry might be the best target we have. Like, I'm saying all these guys as our wide receivers, but Hunter Henry is always shown that when he has, like, this might be a crazy bias take, but he has superstar like potential when he's at his best. When not enough consistent enough, but when he's at his best, he's like ridiculous.
Well, you got to look at the spotty quarterback play too. He's had some spotty quarterback play. Peak Hunter Henry with the Chargers was nice. His first year with us was pretty damn good. Last year was solid. I mean, so and this year he's probably gonna be like your 3rd or 4th option. I mean, I think Hunter Henry, I think he can. I mean, a lot, but not gonna be really keyed in on. Cause I really think people are underrating our skill position core this year because they're basing off of last year, and then they really basing the unknown. Don't nobody know nothing about Baker. They don't know much about Pope. I mean, Pope wasn't even the best receiver at Washington. They no nobody still don't nobody know Pop Douglas. Don't nobody
So
still know Pop Douglas.
the biggest thing about Javon Baker that people keep on, oh, they don't get separation. When look, here's the statistics. I'll rattle them off the top of my head. Javon Baker had the second highest top speed, only to it was Walker at a UNC. He was also second in contested catch rate. He was fourth in contested catch. What knows fifth? Jalen Pope. He
Jalen
was
Pope.
fifth. And then average yards per reception, he was second only to Rhamondre. So this guy gets open. If he was at the University of Alabama, he would have been a first or second round pick. Like, people just only don't give him enough credit because he's coming out of UCF. The guy is a threat. He just has a little bit of drop problems.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't think it's Nelson Aguilar bad drop problems, but I think he's gonna be a player that he's gonna make like the George Pickens highlight plays, and then he's gonna be like, well, he dropped that. I think this type of player is gonna be. He's gonna be inconsistent at times. But I think we'll get. I can't wait to see him in the preseason in training camp practice. I can't wait to see him going up against Christian Gonzalez and Marcellus Dow. I'm about to go ahead and segue to that point right there. A good question, another good question, Gorilla. Could Marcellus Dow become the star Marcus Jack Jones was supposed to be? On Marcus Jones, I would hold off for that because he's been hurt. So let's just hold off for that. See how he does this year. I do want to go deeper into the cornerback position. Marcellus Dow and Javon Baker, they did get hurt the last 2 minicamp prayer. I don't know if I doubt it was serious because they was on the field. They just didn't do on field, so it could have just been precaution. But we should know, bro. I think our cornerback depth chart is really nice. And nobody's talking. We're alone. We got different body types. Marcus Jones could be in the slot. You got Jonathan Jones. You got Austin, Gonzo, obviously, Marcellus Dow, Sean Wade still there, Isaiah Bowden, who I love, like Marco Wilson. We got a lot. We got some length. So I'm all of a sudden like we're looking real good, man. I cannot wait to see his cornerback position battle. I cannot wait. I've been hearing some rumors that we might bring in Stephon Gilmore for a visit. I wouldn't do that. I'll just go with or get like we said about the wide receivers. Go with the youngsters, see what you got out there. Because if you got Gonzo on whatever side or at number one, let's just say week 1 in Cincinnati, you put Gonzo and Chase. I guess you could put I'll go Alex Austin on T. Higgins, and then move Jonathan Jones inside, or you can do like Belichick used to do. Put your number 1 corner on their number 2, double their number 1. And then you can do a lot of things. I like the fact because you remember a couple years ago we played Cincinnati in the regular season. We were small. We had a bunch of guys that we didn't even know playing corner, and T. Higgins was just snagging the ball over Marcus Jones. We've gotten better since then. So I think if you slide Jonathan Jones inside, who's the Bengals' number 3 receivers? Is it the guy from Alabama? I can't think of his name.
Jermaine Burton.
Jermaine Burton. I don't know who they got. Gesicki at tight end. I don't know who the running game is. And then I like the matchups right now. We got all offseason to break down that game, but I think right now it's looking at Alex Austin. If he continues his trajectory, man, I think we got another steal. And we know Mike Pellegrino. He know how to coach up those corners, and we always can find corners diamond in the rough. We always can find these diamonds in the rough at corner. But I am interested to see how Marcus Jones bounced back from the injury and where does he fit? Because he's kind of smaller. Like, is he just gonna be a punt return specialist? Can you play him in some like if we play in Miami? Do you want to put him on Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle because he's smaller? So I want to see how the cornerback depth chart shapes out because we already know Gonzo at 1, Jonathan Jones maybe 2 if he can stay healthy. I think Alex Austin he's climbing that depth chart and keep an eye on Isaiah Bowden and Marcellus Dow. I think we got a lot of bodies to throw out there, man.
Yeah, we have a lot of bodies, but not enough slot guys. I feel like, I think Jonathan Jones honestly should switch to safety.
I think Sean Wade can play slot.
He doesn't stay healthy long enough.
There's always something with him.
I think Alex Austin will be our 2. He's like really like coming on along, like real like swellingly. For me, I think our cornerback group is good. We've already talked about Marcellus Dow. I actually called that a week before the draft. That
like you did
where he was going to get what position. I said he was going to be a 5th or 6th round draft pick that should have been drafted in like the 3rd or 4th round. He's going to be special. I just don't know where to put him because he kind of fits that Alex Austin mold. So I'm curious if like he's going to play or he could play safety. Honestly, like he'll be a problem at safety. But I don't know if he's more like strong and like I feel like he would be good on the outside. I don't know if Alex Austin can play inside. That's my biggest concern because I want to see what we can do with because Marcellus Dial. Like someone said that what Marcus Jones was supposed to be. I never thought Marcus Jones was going to be a star. I thought he was going to be a good cornerback. I never perceived him or Jack Jones. Maybe Jack Jones because he had like glimpses of being a star, like kind of like a J.C. Jackson-esque type guy. But I never had that type of feeling about Marcus Jones. I think he's a very scrappy, fiery cornerback. For me right now, if anything, you just keep him on special teams or have him be a rotational piece if someone needs to get a breather. But other than that, like I think you might be able to just do that with Marcellus Dial. But I think Marcellus Dial, my biggest thing is this: if someone even has a hiccup for a second, he'll take your role. He's a very, very determined individual, and I love his game.
Math, MA football guy, Gonzo, White, Austin, Dow, maybe Victor. I think I have her. Yeah, Victor at the corner.
Victor ain't making the roster, man. That's probably OG.
White. Who is talking about? Keon White or
White?
He said Gonzo, White, Austin. I'm assuming we're talking about cornerback. We have a cornerback last name White. He's talking about Keon White. He probably talking about youngsters.
Maybe he's talking about Bolden.
Yeah, probably.
Bolden. My biggest thing is Bolden should be our returner at Jackson State. He actually held the. He held. Yeah, but we're talking corners. I believe he held the record, and I believe it was the Pac-10 at 36.8 yards per return, and so like Bolden honestly should be our returner. What are our starting linebackers and thoughts on our D line?
You got Taki. You got Bentley. We lost Matt. Let's see what the hell we can do with Marty Mapu, man. Let's not forget we still got Raekwon McMillan. He's always hurt.
I think with Taki was going to be something that Mac Wilson was supposed to be. I think Taki is going to be special.
I think it's a good replacement.
And he's very fast, very sure tackler. He's gonna be a really good addition. But you guys also have to take into consideration, like I know people don't like they call them safeties. They're not safeties. Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar are other linebackers as well. They're not safeties. Like they can be called box safeties or they can have safeties in their title. They're linebackers. They play close to the line of scrimmage. That's their game. They're also linebackers for us. So that Marty Mapu, they had him like training at safety. They have him playing a line. He's really just a Swiss Army knife. I think wherever we need him to be, he's just going to be. I would like to have a little.
I wish they would have found him. I wish they just found him somewhere to stay.
Exactly. You know? That's what I was going to say. Like, I really would like a little bit more consistency and where. But and our D line, as far as our D line goes, it all hinges off of Matthew Judon's health.
I was just about to ask you about that, man. What you think about the Devon Gottschall situation?
He's what, in a contract situation right now? He wants to get paid.
He's holding out.
Go ahead, hold out. Goodbye.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
His argument is that for the position he's play, you really can't. It don't show up in the stat sheet. His production.
You have Christian Barmore right next to you. That kind of. Yeah. I mean, like he's never really had anything special, done anything special in his career. I don't care, man.
Yeah. I think he can go too. My thing is, who do we have behind? I think we got Jeremiah Farms. Hell, Lawrence Guy still. Go bring Lawrence Guy back. I mean, I heard a guy named more than Gottschall.
Or what you could do is you kick Keon White on the inside and you have freaking Josh Uche opposite of Matthew Judon. Then you have
you got Dietrich Wise still.
Or Dietrich Wise. There you go. Like, there's so many, like, Gottschall has no value. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, he doesn't really do enough for me. Like, I don't know why Belichick paid him.
Belichick
He
says
didn't.
one of the best D tackles in the league.
Yeah. When he's opposite of Christian Barmore, I mean, obviously the guy takes like double and triple teams. You're gonna look better.
Besides Barmore, what other D tackle could be good to help out Barmore? Like on the free agent or just on the team? I mean, I would like to see us go out. But I feel you can find a nose tackle any damn where, man. Let's just find a run stuffer.
Look, we can run a 3-4 scheme or a 4. I don't look at the end of the day. If we really want to like have someone opposite of Christian Barmore, I've been throwing my hat in. I think Keon White, you could throw him on the inside and have Dietrich Wise on the outside of Matthew Judon.
Speaking of Keon White, I think he's going to have a big year, big second year. I really think so. I'm not seeing 12, 15 sacks, but I can see 6 to 8 sacks, a lot of run stuff, a lot of some tackles for loss. I think he's going to have a big. He was coming on late last year. I can't wait to see Keon White in a full offseason. I think this new defensive scheme, I think they're actually going to
it's more blitz heavy. It's more blitz heavy. So you're going to see
help him out.
Especially you can actually really send the house to them at quite a bit because our cornerbacks are going to lock everybody down.
And then you got Josh. I think this fits Josh Uche a lot too with this new scheme. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Rob, before we get out here, man, I do want to ask just let's address the elephant in the room, the quarterback position. I mean, I'm a big Drake May fan. You're a big Drake May fan. Let me ask you this before I get your answer. If it's right now it's trending towards Drake May possibly passing Jacoby Brissett. We don't know. We still got 2 or 3 months for the season start. Training camp starts in about 3 weeks. Right now, okay, if camp will start today, and if the competition is close, like it's close, would you go with Brissett or May? If it's close, my opinion is if it's close, I would go with Brissett. If it's close. Because if you think about it, Brissett knows the system. He's a veteran. So he should have a leg up on May. But then, in saying all that, you can say for Drake May's sake, hey, we drafted you number 3 overall. We expect you to be the guy. So it shouldn't even be close. You should be winning. Now, if you look across the league, Jaden Day hit different situation. He's probably going to start. McCarthy probably not going to start. Caleb Williams, we know he's starting. Bo Nix, I think he's going to start in Denver probably over whatever they got. Zach Wilson and
Jarrett Stidham. That's a joke of a quarterback.
They got another quarterback. Didn't they get another quarterback too? But
it's a freaking Spider-Man meme.
Yeah,
the one where they're doing this.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if it's close, would you go with Brissett, or do you just need to see May just beat him, like kind of like how Mac beat Cam a couple years ago? What would you do?
So it really all depends on how the joint practices go and how everything goes in terms of it's not even so much of like our quarterback that I'm really concerned about. How are our tackles, especially on the left side, holding up against our defenders, and how are they doing against when they go on the joint practice against the Eagles? How are we because that's one of the best defensive lines in football. So I'm curious how Okafor or whoever they decide to have a left tackle does. If they hold up and they do it well and it's close, you give it to Drake May. If it's not, if they're not holding up and it's close, you give it to Jacoby Brissett. Because the biggest thing is this. Drake May at UNC had the back-to-back years his offensive line coach was replaced. The offensive line there was dog, you know what. And yet they had the 7th ranked offense. But here's my biggest thing. I don't want to throw him into a situation where he's having to overcome his offensive line again.
Yeah.
Because it's different to get hit by guys in college. Now you're getting hit by guys that run 4.4s and hit like trucks. So I would love to have him out there if it was close. But honestly, like I said, it really is all predicated off how our left tackle positions held up at that point in time and whether or not they look good. If it looks good, put him out there. If it looks shaky, bench until week 8.
Agree, man. Hey, man, that's good stuff. I agree with you on all that. I think week 8 we play the Jets. Me personally, I hope he does play that game because I already got my tickets for the Jets at the Patriots. I will be in New England, in Boston, in Foxborough, October the 27th. I think I'm going to that Jets Patriots game. So can't wait to get there. And I hope Drake May is playing there. But I think that should be a pretty good game. And I got some pretty good seats. Hey, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, man. Big Drake May fan, met him, real humble guy. We are in store for a big time training camp. Man, I'm not gonna be able to make it this year for training camp. I know me and Raw have scheduled some things in the past, so probably be able to make it this year, maybe in the future. But I can't wait for training camp, man, just to hear the reports, the tweets, and stuff like that. If Drake May continues the trajectory that he's currently on, I think he's starting week 1 in Cincinnati. And then, and saying all that, I think you should throw him out there because Cincinnati don't know nothing about May. They can get off his college film, but throw the high upside. They played Brissett twice last year.
The
They know
thing is
Brissett.
this. The thing is this, man. So if I'm gonna have to make a case for Drake maybe in the starting quarterback, this is the best core he's ever had. And I'm talking about you only had Josh Downs and Walker.
Right.
And he's been a solid, really solid. And now you're gonna give. I mean, listen,
And he kind of compared Josh Downs to Pop. He compared Pop Douglas to Josh Downs.
I wouldn't go that far. I think Josh Downs is a better receiver, but
Well,
he's trying to hype up his teammates. I think Demario Douglas can be he can be special. It's more just predicated off whether or not he can stay healthy. Now, my biggest thing is, man, I'm scared for him to get hurt, man. Like I don't want to speed up his clock, whatever. Here's the thing, though. He's not Mac Jones, and people want to go and try to equate them. They're two different talents. They're on two different spectrums of talents. Like this kid, if he feels the pressure, he's going to use his legs, and he's a problem. He can jump over people. Like we have seen him do it. It's insane. And he has some pretty, he has some elite down the field accuracy. And I think, look, I really have a lot of faith in AVP, but I just want him to really learn everything. I don't think it's going to be close. It's already not been close. It's I believe it's anywhere between 11 and 14% difference in accuracy in a percentile between Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. And then you got to add in the fact that there's another level to what he can do in terms of his ability to run the football. He's going to be a threat. You can't load the box even if the left tackle position is not great, because if you load the box, he's going to make you look silly with his legs.
Sleeper team fellas, not saying players, but I definitely think we're gonna be a thorn in a lot of people's tail this year. I think we're gonna be really improved this year. It might not show up in the win-loss column, but I think we're gonna be a tough out. And I think the most important thing for this year is Drake May. See how good it is. See if we really hit on the quarterback and the young players, seeing the development of the young players. Not something now, of course, as fans, we want to win. We want to win Super Bowl every damn year, especially just watch the Boston Celtics just win it. So we want to, of course, fans' expectations gonna be high, but I think it's the development for the young crew. If let's just say because I got us winning 6 or 7 games this year. That's why I got us winning. If we win 6 or 7 games and Javon Baker's a baller, Polk is a stud, Pop Douglas ascended, Keon White broke out, Marpu, Gonzo, Drake makes a guy. That's a win. I'm set. That's a win for me. If we win 6 or 7 games and our young pieces are improving, and we got our guy, that's it. Guess what? We got a lot of cap space next year. Probably going to have a top 10 pick. But if you win 7 games, you might not have a top 10 pick. But probably outside top 10. But if we win 7 games and you see the growth and development from these young players, that's a win for me. And really, this is rebuild year number 1. This is a clean swipe. Everything's new. 7 games and rebuild year number 1. That's good. And then next year, you go out and get your receiver, you go out and get your left tackle, and you continue to add a little bit on defense. I think you can be a playoff team next year. So it's small steps, but I think it's going to be the small thing that's really going to take this team to the next level. And I think I like Elliott Wilson. I like what he's done so far. And we just got to wait and see and just be patient. But I really think we win 6 or 7 games and you see the growth from these young players, I think that's a win. I don't think you can ask for too much more. I really don't.
I'm not really concerned about wins losses. I'm going to be honest with you. I have us anywhere between 6 and 9. No, actually 5 and 9 wins.
Yeah.
It just depends who's the starting. I mean, that's about the middle. So I wouldn't be surprised. I think a lot of we were 8-1 score games last year with a JV offense. We were averaging around 12 and a half freaking points. So I can see us winning games that we're not supposed to win. And when you go and look at it, man, you're going to get in games where people are going to overlook us. You go look at the damn percentile as far as draft books go.
And
Sports
every year there's a team that made the playoffs that don't make it, and a team that nobody thought. Like who did the Houston Texans were a laughing stock a year ago around this time.
I know the difference is this: Nick Casario was building that roster
Yeah,
for
yeah,
4
I
years.
get that, but they were still a laughing stock. Nobody thought they would do anything last year, even after they took Stroud. Nobody know nothing about Tank Dell, Nico Collins, none of that. They were still a laughing stock coming into the season. Nobody thought they would win a playoff game, be where they was at. Nobody thought that. I get what you're saying, but they still were a laughing stock. They were coming in before week 1. Nobody knew nothing about the Houston Texans. They were still a laughing stock.
It's still the AFC South, though. Let's.
I get that, but they wasn't let nobody. Yeah, they didn't have no expectations though until midway the year they started winning these close games. So, hey man, we're gonna see, man. Hey, I appreciate all y'all joining me and Rod tonight, man. We're gonna try to do this every Tuesday night. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, man. We got a lot of people out of comments. Sorry I couldn't get to all of them, man. Like I said, we're gonna try to do this every Tuesday night at 7:30. Tonight we was a little late because me and Rod had a few things to do personally. But we're gonna try to do this every Tuesday night, just once a week for right now. But we'll see how everything goes. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, that's different time zone. You know your time, but 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna try to do this once a week. Just come on, talk some Patriots news. We know we're in the dead time right now, but we are gonna be making some content and just making some storylines. We come out here and talk, answer y'all questions and things like that. Hey, if y'all gonna check this out later on, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe, leave a comment, share the content. I really appreciate it, man. I know 15 of y'all in here. Make sure all 15 of y'all are subscribed to my YouTube channel. Give me the thumbs up. Rob, I got some of my people in to let everybody know where they can find you at and whatever else you want to say.
So, obviously, I'm the owner and founder of House Call Sports. Go follow us, House Call Sports, on all platforms. The House Call on TikTok, the House Call Pod on Twitter. Or X, whatever Elon Musk wants to call it. Go on YouTube. Honestly, we don't have a main House Call channel anymore. We have different variations of it, whether it be the Fight Pit for fighting and the Brick House for NBA. Besides the point, you go the House Call Sports on Instagram. But if you want to follow me and you want to follow all things Pats related, honestly, you just get Patriots, the name Patriots, and the last T. Instead of a T, you make it a 7. I don't know how else I would even put it. Patriots, Patrio 7S.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Hey, make sure you hit that like button, hit the thumbs up, share the content, man. We'll be back next Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, which I know I do go live about every night about 7:30, so y'all can check me out tomorrow night as well. I appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good night. Go Pats.